eModels.co.uk. Make something awesome.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello, Colin here at Festa 67's workshop, and welcome to part 6 of the ball tank build for eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your modelling needs. Where did we get to last time? Well, we'd put the track on with the interior, and what I've done on one side is I printed off this grass decal just to go on the front there like so. And I'll put it on the first half because I wanted to see how it applied and what it looked like and how it conformed to the tank. So I sat and did that last night, and yeah, I must admit I'm pretty impressed with how it conformed. So I can now film the second half on how I did that. So I'll be doing that shortly. But initially on this one, I'm just going to put some gloopy glue around the perimeter of this half, and I can glue this half on the tank now because I'm happy with how the decal's gone down, and it's had a quick coat of gloss on the decal, so I might as well put this on the tank now because it's got quite intricate pipes to connect onto the radiator. You'll see I've already put one of them on, and I've got to weave this in between the girders and the support beams of the interior. So I want to feed that through and get this half on so that I know I'm not going to break any bits off of it because it's getting quite delicate now. So we'll put a bit more glue on now. I need to get in touch with eModels and get myself some more glue because I'm running low. And I use the super glue put first just to get a nice bond, and then I shall go round it with some extra thin just for the capillary reaction and get it to zap in there. But for the moment, because I don't want this to ping straight back off, I've just got to weave that pipe in through that gap there on the beam, and just so that it comes out by another pipe that was on top of the engine casing. So it's quite a delicate little stage this, and I'm going to leave the door off this side just so that I can make sure the pipes line up. If you look by me right thumb, top of the engine there, you just see the silver pipe poking through from the radiator. So I'm happy-ish with how that's beginning to line up, so I can just find me little nubs now and get them lined up, and that should then let me see that pipe. See, so I've got one pipe at the top and one pipe at the bottom of the radiator. So I can now safely say that, yeah, we can carry on gluing that. So let's put a little daub on the pipe there, and then I'll find something just to press against the pipe so that I can get it lined up where I want it to sit. So I'll probably use, let's have a look, see what I've got. I've either got my spudger or the end of a paintbrush or some tweezers. And I just want to nip the edge of that pipe onto the other piece that's on top of the engine case. It's a little fiddly, but persevere and you'll get it just to rest in place. And it's beginning to stick already, I can feel it. So I'll just give that a little press around and see how that sits. I can just rest that there for now and let it dry. And move me glue out of the way for a minute, and I think we can look at probably putting one of these decals on in a moment. So I'll just move it out of the way for a minute because the extra fin's coming out. And whilst that's beginning to stick, I just quickly want to nip some extra fin in along these seams just to see if I can get it to suck right into that gap there. So I'm going to slap it on a bit and get it in there so that it begins to mix with the gloopy glue, and it basically fills any voids. Don't worry too much if you knock any of the paint off the edge here, because you're going to be weathering as well. There's going to be bits of mud and dirt and stuff going around this, so you can have the odd happy little accident, but obviously you don't want to go too mad. Don't be like Festa, don't get glue everywhere. So I'll just give that a little press just to get that really to start biting on there, and it's beginning to take shape. And this is the stage of the ball tank build where you see the fruits of your labour, because you get to see the ball tank taking shape in front of you, and it's one of them. I just wish they would build one. I'd love to see one working in practice in real life. So just a little dab just along there underneath where that boomstick is, like so, and it should start settling quite nicely. And it is a little dab needed just on that piece there. I think we'll do another one nest in there, and it's just going zinc straight along that seam. These are really good glues, I must admit. It doesn't need a lot. So we just put that out of the way for a minute and grab the other half, and we've got to really sort of be quite careful with this decal now when it comes to go on. So I'm just going to pop that door back on, shove that out of the way, just off shot, because I know I'll end up knocking it or doing something. I don't want to damage it. So I'll get a glue holder and put some water in it as well in a minute, but I'll just rest that door in place, because I shall put the decal on with the door on and let it conform and shrink into shape, and then I'll go around with a blade around the edge of the door to cut the door out again. So we've got a little bit of water in the glue holder, and these are decals I've printed, by the way, in case you wonder. These didn't come with the kit. I went on the internet, found an image that I liked of some wild grass, scaled it down, dropped a white background in to approximate the tank, and then cut it out, and we'll apply it. And then once it's dry, I shall then go round the edges of the grass itself and cut as much of the white backing off as I can, so that it's as close to the green stems, and it'll just blend it a bit better. But it's a white decal paper anyway, so if it had been a different coloured tank, then I would have changed the background colour to match it. So just put some microsole on there, like so, probably in an area just a bit bigger than the decal's going to cover. And I'll just put some on the brush. And at first, when the decal goes on, it's not really going to want to conform, because you've got a two-dimensional flat decal and you're trying to conform it to a three-dimensional multi-compound curve structure. So you're going to do quite a lot of finagling on this one and fettling, and so don't expect it to go straight on and be the shape. This is the delicate stage now. If you're of a nervous disposition, look away, because I am quite heavy-handed with me decals. It does throw people that I use me scalpel to move them about, and I'm pretty fingers and thumbs with them, but because I've printed these out and sprayed them with a Plasticoat clear sealer, they are quite durable, and they do take a little bit of persuasion, should we say, to conform, but you can be a little, you can stretch them and be quite aggressive with them. But I shall start off with a bit of set and sole just to start getting them where I want, and then I'll switch over to me UMP set, because there's a nice extra strong solution in there that will get this to really kickstart into taking shape. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to feather out any light creases and bubbles that I find, and start moving the decal around to get things where roughly I know they're going to end up, and then we can start the more in-depth fettling once we're happy with its approximate position there. And it's just a matter of going around with your brush. It's going to feel like you're moving the same bubbles and the same creases about constantly, but bear in mind you are trying to get this to conform to quite quite a large compound shape, so you're going to be lifting it, you're going to be tweaking it, you're going to be moving it left, right, and the same piece of grass quite a few times, but it will fall into place. And then when you put the super strong stuff on, it'll wrinkle up all over again, and I shall use that to my advantage in a minute. Normally the way to do it would be you'd put the microsole on and it wrinkles up and you'd walk away and leave it. But I actually use it on these decals, especially a shape like this, to my advantage, as I've just said. And I shall use them wrinkles, and as it's stretching I shall just stretch them wrinkles and move the decal where I need it to go. So we'll just come back in there on that edge there, because there's a metal ring with some rivets on. Move that blade over as well. And just start brushing it now up over this orb structure where the gun the gun protrudes. It's where the driver views what's ahead of him, should I say, the viewing window, that's the word. So put a little bit of water on and start stretching that around there. Press it in with a brush so that it starts taking the shape of the bottom third of the ring. And already you can see creases around the edges there again, so you're just going to move them over, lift it and round it around that edge, and it will start coming round then. And the wrinkle, I'm trying to get the wrinkle to go over the opening, because I'm going to run a blade along there when it comes to doing the opening, so I'd rather the wrinkle be as near to that as possible, and then I can brush the wrinkle towards the opening and lose it. That's the plan. So I'll put a tiny bit of sole on, because there's only a little bit left in this bottle, and then we'll swap over to the Ultimate Decal Solutions to finish this off. I actually find this stage, believe it or not, quite therapeutic myself, because you start off with a decal that you think, oh, that's never going to go around there, and then all of a sudden it does. So I'll just move that out of the way and grab my other set of solutions, which are just off shot there, so let's bring them on. And this is a set of 3 Ultimate Decal Solutions available from obviously our sponsor eModels. You get a normal, a strong and an extra strong solution on this. So being that I started with a bit of sole, I shall use the strong one now, and then when I get to the more complex conforms that I've got to do, I shall put a bit of extra strong on. So let's get the blade on there, pull that along there, and we just do a bit of dabbage, and we just caress it. That's all you're trying to do. A little bit of deft brushing, and don't be afraid to move the piece around. I know I've just gone off shot, apologies for that, but I'm a man of a certain age with eyes of a certain age, and yeah, but all I'm doing is I'm just double checking that the crease is coming away from where I want it to where I don't want it to be, sorry, to where I need it to be. So we can carry on now and start spreading that out towards me index finger there. Come round that little area there where the light is and the orb, and we're just losing that now, and it's just dropping in there quite nicely, as you can see. Yeah. Let's get the scalpel down, give that a bit of a tug, just pop that bubble, because there's a tiny little bubble there, and I might have to get me mechanical pencil out. I've got a little red mechanical pencil just at the top of the screen there, and I changed the lead for a sewing needle, and I use it for scribing, but it also comes in handy if you get a decal with a bubble in it. Just quickly pump it as if you was getting the lead out, the needle comes out the end of it, stab your decal, and then brush the bubble out. So handy little gadget that, and it does the job. So we'll just pull that down there, back with the scalpel, like so, and just keep at it and persevere with it, even if you think it's not going right. If it means just taking a breath, putting it down, just give it a little wet, put it down, walk away, pour yourself a cup of tea or a cold drink, come back, wet it again, and carry on brushing. You'll be fine. As long as you don't put a gloss coat over it straight away, you can do this stage. Keep wetting it, brushing it, and smoothing it out for as long as you want. I'm going to swap over now to the extra strong because I've got a couple of areas that are a bit rogue, and it'll also come in handy losing it around the edge of the door and this ring. So put the extra strong on there, and it will wrinkle up quite quickly with this stuff, which is what I want it to do, because I'm then going to chase the wrinkles around the decal. And I'm quite pleased actually at the moment with how smoothly this is going. Because normally when you do this and then you go to film it, the one you're trying to film is the decal that doesn't behave. So I've been pretty lucky here. I'm blessed this evening with this one. So we'll just give that a little smooth there. And again, I know I've applied the decal over some chipped paint, but when this dries, I shall see a shadow of the green paint underneath, and I shall go around and scrape the decal back off over them areas, and it will reveal the chipped paint from underneath. So at this stage it's just getting the decal down. Then I can re-put in all my scratches, my nicks and me missing paint and all of that. You'll also notice with the decals of the boxing snowman that it's a bit faded. I went over that with a 200 grit sponge sanding. I just gave it a little bit of a feather down just to age it and fade it, and I'm quite pleased with how they came out. I'll do the same when I've done the grass. I shall go over it and sort that all out. So I'll just come back over that, like so. And just move that little crease around there. That bubble, just move that over. Yeah, it will go. There you go. There you go. It's just tiny little creases. That's it. Can now start being a bit firmer on some areas just to make sure that it's right the way down where I want it to be. Get me mechanical pencil out and get that bubble just like so. There's another one just there. Pop like that. And then once the extra strong starts really biting that, that will shrink right down now, because any air left in that bubble's got somewhere to come out of. And considering that was a flat piece of decal, I'm mightily impressed there. So we'll grab that. A bit more brushing. Just delicately start pressing it, and I'll probably go over this with a Q-tip cotton bud and roll out any of the last imperfections that are not behaving as they should. I shall just quickly go over it with that, and it'll be a case of rightio, I've gone as far as I can. Let it dry, and then if I need to come back at it, I can come back at it with some extra strong, but I can get as much of it done in this session as possible, then it makes it a lot easier. There's another tiny little bubble just there, so we'll stab in, get rid of that, like so. Just pull that little piece of grass along with that needle, just enough, like that. I remember the first time I put this sort of decal down, I was so nervous, and it was I was doing me transit van wrap, and it was like, yeah, and to see the decal from what it was to how it ended up, yeah, it was great fun. Thoroughly enjoyed that little build. So if you've got a printer, have a go at printing some decals for yourselves. It brings out that creativity that's inside you. So we'll just pull that piece there. And this is that real fine tuning stage now. I could leave it, but I want to try and get as much conformity as I can. And then I'll slap a load more of the extra strong over it now. And then just bring any wrinkles into as small an area as I can, so I can then roll the Q-tip over it all and try to get them last few creases out, and then see what happens, because it should shrink down then quite nicely. So we're getting close to where we need to be with it. So I'll just have a quick look and see what we're up to, and I'm happy with that. Just that little piece there is slightly off skew, as well as there, and it's just about ready for a bit more of a brush. Come over the top of that one, and it's just dab a little bit more, then another bit. Yeah, that's coming along now. So I can now just move that blade over, try and grab the end of that one and ping it forward. We can just get the cotton bud now and start rolling from the centre out over the edges, and you're just not too much pressure, you're just running it through your thumb and your finger, and you're just rolling it across the top of the decal and just pushing it over. And I did this when I did the Sheen and Kenny Roberts bikes, putting the decal on the front of the fairings, going over that bulbous nose, and it works a treat. And you're just rolling any air out and just moving wrinkles into areas where they can be hidden. Even if you've got a really stubborn wrinkle that won't come out, just pop a couple of holes in it with your pin, and then just using a Q-tip roll them around, and then get as much air out the crease, and then just roll the crease into a hidden area. It could be a panel line, it could be a join, it could be anything. You know, and you're just rolling it out the way into an area where it's not going to be so visible, and then as much decal solution as you want to put on it, and it should get rid of it. Then I'm going to go over the door and the area where the door shut is, and then we can come back round here, have a little dab on that ring with the rivets on, and then roll that decal around the ring, and then come up over this little revolving driver's sight, like so. And I think we can safely say that this is going down quite well, folks. Concentration's palpable. There you go. Easy does it. Just that one there. We'll just bring that round where I want it to be. And then I can lose that crease there in that gap, like so. Little dab, like that. And we can safely say that that is looking really quite nice. Just a little bit of water on just to move that over, like so. There you go. And then we'll pop that there, like so. I've gone into whisper mode. It's because I'm concentrating. Yeah. I'll just scrape that along there like that. There we've now got our decal pretty much where we want it to be. Just come up over the front there and bring that edge in there, because there's a little tiny plate on there. So we just want to get that to recess into its spot, and then roll back around where the door opening's going to be. And I think we can honestly say that it does, for me, it's just made the tank have that little bit of interest. You know, when I looked at the decal, when I looked at the artwork on the instructions and saw the grass, I originally was going to brush paint it. And then I thought, well, I'll have a look, see what I can do a decal, because, you know, it's the easiest way for me. And I must admit, I'm quite happy with how it's come out. Now, you know, some of you out there might want to brush paint this bit. Fine, it does the job. It's just for me, I just found this a little more convenient. So I'll just finish this off. Right, so go towards that edge now. Right, we've got some resin figures there that I've printed on my printer, which is 3 or 4 troops and zombie soldiers and futuristic fellas that are running around. They found this tank abandoned in the woods, so we've got bits and bobs, and there's going to be a driver sat in the tank that unfortunately is deceased, so we'll do them. That'll add a bit of interest to the dio when I do that. So we'll grab the glue holder, and I think we'll probably have a look at sticking the other side on. So I think that's what we'll do today on this side. So I'll just grab me bits and pieces. A bit of a gloopy glue. Do the same as what I did on the other side, and as you can see, that decal's sunk down really nice now. It had overnight, and it's really gone down well, and I must admit I'm really pleased with that. And I've put the lens on the light as well, but that decal's really conformed well there, so I'll just pop the door out of the way. Put some gloop round the edges of this and try and get this half of the ball tank on. Hopefully by the end of this episode we'll have the ball tank with both skis on, because I stuck the ski on the other side. So I can get this side on, I can then glue the other ski on and get them to line up with it at rest. So I'll just drop a bit of this round the edges, and then the extra fin I put on will mix with this and it'll just zap round the seams quite nicely. So I'm just going to nerf some of this on now, all the way around the perimeter, like that. Just put that down there for a sec, move my bottle over, put some extra fin in the holder in a second so that it's ready. So we'll just grab that, and yeah, this is my little egg. I've explained to Dave the significance of the dude, but yeah, he's they found the story with this is they've found this tank abandoned just on the edges of some woods, probably many years after it got lost in battle, and unfortunately the guy inside is a non-survivor, should we say. He's brown bread, so we'll just press that into place, get that to reasonably start sitting. Just check the alignment. And it is a bit of an ease and squeeze moment when these sides go on. The temptation is to stand it up, but if you put the ski on now, it's going to pop the side off, so you need to sit there and just get it to start biting, and then I go at it with a bit of extra fin because it's very quick setting, and I'll give it a zap around the edge with that as well. And for me, it seems to just get everything to bite. So I'm going to go around the whole perimeter of this just to get this in place. And it's running quite nicely along them seams. I don't know whether you're picking it up on camera, but I'm certainly looking at that, and it's zooming round now, so it's doing the job quite nicely, this bit of glue. And don't forget, folks, as well, if you want to build one of these tanks, they are available from eModels, so grab one while you can. My sidekick for me normal live shows and that, he's got one on order, and a few people I know that have been watching this build have gone and pulled the pin and ordered one in. So if they've still got them in stock, folks, grab one whilst you can. Just pop over to eModels.co.uk, have a look at what's in store, and type in ball tank and you'll find one of these. I'll just rest that ski on like so, because that's how the tank's going to be at rest. And I shall pop the other door on shortly, but it's that exciting stage. This is where I start making boom boom noises and gudja noises and playing soldiers, because yeah, I get all excited. But it's a ball tank, what more can I say? I'm not going to do any weathering on it at the moment with mud, dirt and things until I've got the diorama built, because I want to put the two together and weather it together so that it blends. So I'll be probably in the next episode laying out the dio and getting that assembled and started, so that we can start figuring out then where we're going to go with this. So I've got some bits and pieces I want to try, so we'll make the base, the frame and all of that lot in the next part, so that we can sit this tank in its new home, and then we can start putting down the grass, the snow and all of that. but it's really been taking shape, this, and I love these kits. I've got another one that I'm going to be doing, but yeah, I've really enjoyed this build, and so far the feedback I'm getting off the other folks that are building this along with me and following this build series, they're loving theirs as well. So they're quirky, but they're interesting little builds as well, and it's what if, isn't it? What if they made them? But yeah, I've got some scratches and things to put on the skis as well, and weather the wood, and oh yeah, it's got a lot of potential. And there's 6 different colour schemes you can do this in as well, and decals for everything. So just get a little bit of super glue on the hinges of the door, and then I'll be able to pop the door in place. So we can get that done. So get the door on. Yeah, drop a bit of that on. Bit of extra thin may work first. If the extra thin doesn't, then yeah, the super glue will come out. We'll have a go. Yeah. Just put a bit more around the front edge of that whilst that door's setting. Come around that back edge, and you can see it's soaking right round there. It's lovely glue. It looks like Mickey Mouse's ears, doesn't it, poking out with the doors open? I was going to do it with one door open, one door shut originally, but then I hit on the idea of doing it as an abandoned. And yeah, so even I changed my mind, you probably noticed. So I'll just drop my glue away. Pop that on the cutting mat there and bring me dudes out, and I'll be wrapping up in a second. So pop over to our sponsor at eModels.co.uk to have a look at what's in store, folks. If you want to grab one of these ball tanks, grab one. They can do a couple of variants of them, so have a look at what you want. Order yourself some bits and pieces, some paints and that. I've got these guys to weather up, so I should be using some of the filters and everything that I got for this build. But I think you'll agree that it is beginning to take shape, this little tank, and I'm looking forward in the next episode to doing the diorama. So look out for that. That'll be popping up on the channel soon. Keep an eye out for the Monday live shows, and until then, bye bye for now.